You want me to say hallelujah? Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
I'm a fool for your love.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have Stacia G with me.
Hi guys.
Again.
And
we are gonna be discussing life in Japan, how we're dealing with the pandemic as it relates to teaching, and also just our lives here in general. So we're gonna be breaking down the video into 3 parts. So public school teaching, private school teaching, and just life in general. So the first thing that we're gonna be talking about is public school teaching. So as you know,
you know.
Okay, so as you know, we are ALTs here and we're living in Yokohama. So we're gonna be discussing how it has affected us, and this information is not a representation of the entire Japan or not even the entire Yokohama schools, because every school operates differently. But for sure, every student has to wear a mask to school. So
Teachers
that's a
too.
must. Yeah, so teachers and students have to wear a mask. And for some schools, before the students enter the building, they have to sanitize their hands.
That's not at my school, but like she said, it's dependent based on the school and also the discretion of each teacher, because each teacher might exercise more or less hygienic practice. So that's also something that you should bear in mind when we're talking about all of these things. So at my school, there isn't anything that's particularly strict. Students and teachers alike, they wear the mask, and people attempt to wash their hands more, quite often without soap, which doesn't make any sense, but they're making an attempt. And for the most part, students aren't engaged in a lot of group activities like they were previously, but there are instances in which they communicate with each other during classes. But I think the level of activities, when it comes down to group-based activities that we were able to do, we aren't able to execute them as much as we used to, primarily because students, for some very strange reason, feel threatened by coronavirus. Ironically, before class begins, they're all in laps and hugging each other. When it comes on to class time, we're very concerned about coronavirus. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say that for some schools, they're actually relaxing the restrictions. So for some schools, you can actually do group work now or peer work. So it actually is allowed right now.
Can you do group at your school?
Yes, I can. I can do group work, peer work, everything.
We do peer work, but group work isn't really common.
So in the beginning, it was forbidden, but now it's okay. But I don't see a reason for it not to be okay if the kids are hugging and touching each other.
That's the same thing I say.
Yeah, so might as well, if I need to prepare an activity where it needs like a group,
and it's
that
not
should
like,
be fine.
and my thing
they're
is,
interacting with each other.
if I'm creating like an activity that's like a board game, you're really not really interacting with people. You're just throwing a dice, you know. But you say to them a game, you're like, oh my god, coronavirus.
That's what they say at your school?
Like I made a board game once. And before handing up people, I asked JT, and like, I'm thinking about doing a board game for this target language. Is it okay? Yes, go ahead. And I go ahead and I research and I find a nice board game that is suitable, and I edited it so that it could match the level of the students I was teaching. When it's time for board game, they pitney them. Oh, we're concerned. They said it in Japanese, of course. Oh, we're concerned about coronavirus and we don't want to catch coronavirus. And I'm standing there like, you may just see in our boy lap. What kind of concern you concerned?
That's why you should have told JT to translate in Japanese. They're too presumptuous. They don't do that at my school. They like that.
And then the teacher was like, oh, they don't want to do it because of coronavirus. So my son. I'm like,
I would give them some things, some hard stuff to do, you see? Right. Anyways, back on topic. So next thing is, for some schools they do occasional health checks. So you have the students have to go to the nursery office and do checkups
Yeah.
and stuff like that. All teachers, LTs, and just regular Japanese teachers have to check their temperature every day. So that's a requirement. For us, we have to do it online. So we have to submit every single day. We have to send a report to say, okay, we have checked our temperature. We don't have any coronavirus symptoms and we are okay.
And your
work.
temperature is 90.
Yes. So every day we have to do that.
Every day when you have to report to work.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Oh, another thing to add is that we can't touch the kids, which before Corona we weren't allowed to touch the kids. So this is not really like anything that's different.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So no handshakes, no touching, no nothing like that.
Yeah, because our company gave us specific instruction not to high five. Because even though they say not to touch kids, like high five is kind of acceptable.
Or handshake.
Or handshake. But no, it's completely zero physical contact with students. But students always want to high five me, so
I just say corona, no.
I mean, I'll high five them and wash my hand afterwards, because it takes so much for them to even ask for it. So me don't want cramp in the style.
Or you can just say, what you call it, social distance high five.
Okay.
So
So high five.
yes, so no touching, but you know, yeah. Alright, so let's talk about teaching English in private schools. So I also teach in private schools and Stacia doesn't, so I guess I'll be talking in this section. So for example, it's mandatory for the students to sanitize their hands, so similar to the public schools, and they have to wear a mask, even though sometimes the young kids don't really wear the mask, like the 4-year-olds, they always take it off during class and whatever. And for private teaching, for some locations you have to partially open the door, so you can't close the classroom door entirely, so you have to use something at the door to ensure that it's not completely closed. And when I'm teaching adults, there's like a, what do you call it, like
partition,
like a glass partition, yes, between me and the student. So yeah, and I don't even see how that makes sense, because we both have on masks. So what are we gonna, you know? And it's literally just this little thing.
Japan is the land of redundance.
And we're already inhaling the same AC, so... But anyways, yeah. So I just follow the rules, you know. Okay, so I think that's it for private teaching. Let's talk about life in Japan outside of teaching. So transportation now, as it relates to the trains and the buses, they partially open the windows. So even though the AC is on, they still
wasn't that always a thing, or no?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Okay.
No, it wasn't. Well, I don't usually see that, but since COVID, yeah, I'm seeing like most, if not all, the different carts in the trains. The windows are partially open.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I thought it was just a regular thing.
It wasn't.
Because I didn't take notice prior to Corona, so I can't say. Because Corona has been around for almost a year, guys.
Yeah, it's almost a year now. Yeah, and we remember Japan was the first country to get it outside of China.
Yeah.
So we have been talking about Corona for a long time.
Yeah. And
then the world, like in the middle, last year March.
And the world is now a battle with it. We're not battling with it that as hard as.
Or we're probably trying to live with it. That's what they're doing. They're ignoring it and just, you know, living their life like nothing is going on.
I think because Japanese people are more obedient than Americans, for example. It's easier to control, because they tell people to stay home, they stay home. The people wear the mask for the most part. You very rarely see somebody without a mask.
Like 98.9% of people that you see on the road, they have a mask.
So I think that's part of the reason why it's not as big a thing here as it is in like America or somewhere else. But in general, like with the whole COVID thing, people are working more from home now. So the rush hour isn't as congested as it used to be in the mornings and in the evenings. And just in general, for the most part, most places that you go to, they have the sanitizers at the entrance of the stores, and they're usually workers who are sanitizing the shopping baskets that persons use. some places where you walk in, they have the machine that checks your temperature.
Yeah, like when we went to GU,
Yeah.
GU, it's mandatory for them to, in order for you to enter the store, they have to check your temperature.
Yeah.
But for other stores, you just have to sanitize your hand to enter. Yeah.
So it has changed in that regard. Also, obviously, one of the obvious reasons, you have to include mask in your budget now. For some people, mask in it's so strange nowadays. You're writing your budget, oh yeah, mask. You're running out of the house, like this has happened to me a few times. You're running out of the house like, oh shoot, I don't have a mask on, I have to run back.
You keep some mask in your bag. That's what I do.
I usually do that, but laziness.
I just get a Ziploc bag and I just put some in there. Cause
Yeah.
I don't have time when I'm rushing in the morning to turn back. Because that means my bus gone. Anyways, back on topic. So when you're in stores and you're going to like check out your items, they usually have like designated spots that you are supposed to stand, social distancing.
Yeah.
So almost every store has that. Even at school, when the kids are supposed to wash their hands, because they usually, even before corona, they usually wash their hands exactly before lunchtime.
Yeah.
So now they have like they put like taped signs on the floor.
Yeah.
So that the kids know where to stand to wait for their turn. But not every student follows the rule, because I have seen like a bundle, like now, like I said, if one student has it, then I know the entire class gonna get it because of how they interact with each other. So let's talk about dining out in Japan. So here's the irony. To end for some places, because like I said, every restaurant is different, every store is different. For some places you have to have a mask to get in, but why do you need a mask to get in if you're gonna take it off to eat? That makes sense.
And once you get in and take it off, nobody comes to accost you about the mask for the most part. So once you enter and take it off, like nobody is coming to check you. Like,
put on your mask.
Put on your mask.
You stop chewing. Put on your mask. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess.
But I mean, not just that too, but I think life in general, there are certain places that may not accommodate as many persons inside as they used to, as well as there are certain places where you know, it have a look about, as we say in Jamaica, there are certain places that usually have a certain level of liveliness that it doesn't anymore, because I guess because
You wanna
also
stay home.
Yeah, people are staying home. And for example, places which are usually visited often by men who are in Navy or the Marines, or Navy and Marine is the same thing, right?
The military. In the military.
The military men. You don't find that a lot of them are there anymore, and because they can't really go out like that anymore because of the restrictions that they have, the men and the women, because there are women in the military too. So yeah,
People are scared to go to the club.
I'm not. I'm trying to go to the club, guys. So show no yeah, fun.
I have work. Anyways, guys, I think that's it. Do you have anything else to add? That's like all my points.
I think in general, everyone can see how life has changed when it comes on to the whole COVID, even if it's not something drastic. But I think overall, a lot of us, if we're going to be honest, have been washing our hands a lot more than we used to. And the studies even go to show that the number of flu and cold that people used to catch during the time during the flu season has drastically decreased, because people are a little more hygienic and they're a little more mindful of how they interact with others and how they interact with things around them. But just in general, guys, try to be as clean as possible, be as safe as possible. Make sure that you're taking your vitamins, eating right, and all of those good stuff. Because especially for us here, we don't have like family. We have friends, yes, but we don't really have that familial support to fall back on. So it's very important that we, you know, take all the necessary precautions that we need, because if push comes to shove
And we get sick. That's vacation days, not sick days.
Not
so
sick
we
days.
don't get
Exactly.
for our company we don't get sick days. So if we're sick, it comes out of our vacation days.
And we don't get a lot of days.
And if we don't have any vacation days, then it comes out of
Your
our
salary.
Alright.
So, you know,
we can't afford
literally
to
we can't afford to be sick. because we don't have the luxury of being sick for more than a week, because I think the standard is what 5 days that we get, and then it rolls over.
It's mandatory that you stay home for 5 days.
But is that from your that's from your salary? That's
so it comes it comes out of the vacation days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't afford to be sick for the financial reason, but just because we don't have that family support to lean back on your mother
soup
right? They don't have that.
You live alone.
Yeah. So it's
your friends have to work.
It's
and
important, very very important that we above all take care of ourselves. And we're in a foreign country, and English is not the first language here, so that adds to the complexity of it all. So wherever you are, whether you're in Japan or in Jamaica or in America, wherever you're watching, we hope that you are safe and your family is, and that you are taking all the necessary steps, because clearly life as we know it and the norm the norm is changing. Like the things that we used to do and take for granted are things now that we're looking back and we're like, remember when we could walk out the house in a full face of makeup and not have to worry about mask or anything like that. But yeah, just be safe, guys. I guess that's my final thought.
Yeah, be safe and pray if you're religious, because nothing beats prayer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you want me to say hallelujah? Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Anyways, guys, so that's it for this video. This is just like nothing much really has, or maybe we have gotten used to the changes, so it doesn't even seem like much of a difference for us here in Japan. People going about their business, going to work, going to school like normal. So if you didn't know that there was a deadly virus out there, you probably would think everything is okay.
Yeah, it's just that they see a lot of people wearing masks.
And remember, we are used to wearing the mask, because even before COVID, Asian
mask wearing was a thing over
masks,
here,
especially during like winter time when it's flu season and whatever.
Yeah.
So it was normal. So this is like really normal for them.
It's not normal for me though. I'm breaking out, guys. I'm breaking out.
Oh anyways, alright guys, remember to check out Stacia G on her channel. Subscribe to my channel below. It's absolutely free. You know, why you stalling? It's
free. Why you want to block your blessing? It's 2020. Exactly. Life is too short to not subscribe. How about that?
Support some sisters, you know. Yeah. Anyways, guys, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.